later in the week that it is, but alas, in general. So we asked for your favorite vacation destinations for those of us who are not yet going on a trip, maybe a little inspiration. Bucky H says Pennsylvania is the only place I want to visit. Well, it's a fine state. Lovely mountains and forests in the middle, Pittsburgh on one end, Philly on the other. Just a lot of beautiful things happening in the state of PA. I certainly support that. Brutax, Japan. Never been, would love to go. D&D Fall says, I live in Hawaii, pretty hard to beat. Oh, I imagine. That is a beautiful place to be. Love Hawaii. Every time I go there, it gets harder and harder to leave. Our Trusky says, Carmel by the Sea, which once had Clint Eastwood as its mayor. A little fun fact about Carmel, beautiful up there in wine country, CA. Altree Court, St. Simon's Island, test 1, test 2 said an Alaska Disney cruise is the perfect vacation, and it certainly sounds lovely to me. Wild Joe Lee wants to go to Ocean City, Maryland, not Ocean City, New Jersey, like I did as a child. R.I.P. Wonderland Pier. 57 Peppy 57 Florida, because it's got beaches and theme parks. Hard to argue with that, but also California has those if you want a West Coast version of all the perks of Florida. Kelly O'Garrison says Chincoteague, Virginia, Sanibel Island, Florida, and Lake Placid plus Thousand Islands, New York are my favorites. So you're traveling all over this fine country. Greg Nutt wants to name the goose Steve Carlsberg. It'd be a fun name. I'm rocking out. That's a good time right there. A lot of different names. I like that you all have your own name for the goose. Whatever name you have for the goose is probably correct. But it is International Joke Day, and stop me if you've heard this one, but welcome to the Tuesday edition of Daily Trivia Live, the mobile game show where you win money from the comfort of your phone. We've got some good fun for you today, so please take my prize. Please take my prize. Come on. That's $1,000, and everyone who can correctly answer these 10 multiple choice general trivia questions will split it. In this game, you'll earn 1 bonus SB for every question you get right after question number 1, even if you've already been eliminated. If you win the game, they're automatically added to your share of the grand prize. You pick them up along the way, you get a share of the $1,000. All the bonus SB that you picked up are added on top automatically. You don't win the grand prize. You don't automatically get the SB that you've picked up. You have to claim them at the end of the game in order to keep them. That means don't leave early and then just click the claim button that appears at the end and they're yours. It's really simple. The only way you miss out is by leaving. And why would you want to leave when the first time you get a question wrong? I understand it's frustrating, but as long as it's before question number 10, you can rejoin to give yourself another chance to win the grand prize. Now, there are 2 ways to rejoin. One is using SB, and the other is with a free rejoin. And here's a tip for you. If you click the plus sign in the top left-hand corner of the main menu, anytime a game's not happening, you can get free rejoins by watching videos. It's just that simple. Finally, each game we give away 5 100 SB prizes to 5 players who win and claim at least 1 SB in the game. Another reason to stick around till the end. In fact, I do have the winners from Monday's game for you. Here they are. They have all been credited already, so enjoy your 100 SB if you are one of the 5 people who are up on the screen right now. And if you are not, I know you want to see your name up there, and I want that for you too. And my advice remains the same as it has these many years. Keep playing and claiming, because next time the winner could be you. There's always a chance. But for now, it is time to play, so let us kick things off with question number 1. Here it is. Sake is a rice wine that comes from which country? Is it Sweden, France, or Japan? Where is sake from? Have you ever had sake? Are you familiar with sake? It's one of the few alcoholic beverages I can think of outside of Irish coffee that is commonly served warm. Sake is often enjoyed with sushi, which makes sense. They're both from Japan. Japan is the answer. Pretty much everybody getting that one right. Well done. And with those of you who got eliminated, if you rejoin along with some of our stragglers, yep, we're going to have over 14,000 people in grand prize contention. There we go. We got J.M. Miller saying sake burns my innards. I assume I don't drink, so I don't know what it's like to drink this. So if you tell me it burns your innards, I certainly believe you. I also believe that every question you get right from here on in gets you 1 bonus SB, and that's the reason why I believe that is because it's true. Here's question number 2. What 2 rivers converged in the Fertile Crescent of ancient Mesopotamia? Is it the Tigris and Euphrates, the Colorado and the Mississippi, or the Thames and the Danube? The Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia. ancient civilizations that emerged from the region, including one of the planet's first agricultural centers, a benefit of being nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Tigris and Euphrates is the answer. 87% of you getting that one right. Those are the only two who would be in Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Middle Eastern area. The Thames and the Danube are separate from each other, both in Europe, and the Colorado and the Mississippi are right here in the States, so they could not be part of that Fertile Crescent, unfortunately. Of the 13% of you that did not get that, though, almost all of you were able to rejoin, and almost all of those people doing it for free. We are moving on now to question number 3, worth 1 bonus SB if you get it right. Who recorded live albums at the Folsom and San Quentin prisons? Is it James Brown, Johnny Cash, or David Bowie? Who recorded live albums at the Folsom and San Quentin prisons? His outlaw persona and the rough edges in his music made him particularly popular among prison inmates who felt he was singing about them. And that is what made Johnny Cash's choice to record in a prison a logical one. Also hit records for him. 93% of you knew. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash is the correct answer. Well done. James Brown, I don't believe he did go to prison at some point. I don't know that he recorded any albums there. And David Bowie did not record any albums from prisons either. Let's move on to question number 4, though. It's worth 1 bonus SB if you get it right. Here it is. The sentence, camels cantankerously cultivating, is an example of what figure of speech? Is that alliteration, onomatopoeia, or oxymoron? Camels cantankerously cultivating is an example of which of those 3 figures of speech? Surely your shared sharpness shed light on the fact that the series of words in that sentence shared the same starting sounds, which I just did again. It's the very definition of alliteration, of course. It's alliterative when they all start the same. When you go bronze baby buggy bumpers, that would be another alliterative thing to say. Or Hal hosted heartily. There you go. That's another example of alliteration for you. I did it. Of the 28% of you that got eliminated, though, we got well over half of you back in. Still over 12,000 people in grand prize contention. And we're moving on to question number 5, worth 1 bonus SB if you get it right. Which Everly Brothers song was once banned by radio stations? Was it All I Have to Do Is Dream, Let It Be Me, or Wake Up Little Susie? I would say bonus points if you know why, but you'll just get a bonus SB if you get it right. So the song is about 2 teenagers who fall asleep while together on a date, a scandalous notion around the town, and too heavy a subject for radio stations who wanted to play it safe by avoiding Wake Up a Little Susie, wake up a little Susie. Oh, what are we going to tell your mama? What are we going to tell your pops? That's why they say that. Because they fell asleep was innocent, but, it doesn't look innocent. 2/3 of you knew that that was the correct answer, by the way. And of the third of you that got eliminated, well over half of you able to come back. And speaking of half, we are halfway done with this game and moving on now to question number 6, worth 1 bonus SB if you get it right. In Forrest Gump, why does Forrest think life is like a box of chocolates? You never know what you're going to get. It can be heavy until you get through it, or it's always a sweet surprise. I mean, his mom always told him that life was like a box of chocolates. The person that Forrest Gump becomes has a lot to do with the sacrifices and wisdom of his mama, who prepared him for the fact that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That is the answer. Pretty much everybody getting that one right. Well done. You know how difficult it was? I just want to point out, I don't need kudos. Difficult it was to come up with 2 other things that could be plausible answers. I know you're going to know this one because Forrest Gump is very popular. I just want to point that out. I'll pat myself on the back. Let's move on to question number 7, worth 1 bonus SB. According to the saying, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. How do you feed him for a lifetime? Buy a man a gift card, take a man to a buffet, or teach a man to fish? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. How do you feed him for a lifetime? If a person can only feed themselves while you're around, you're setting them up to starve in your absence. However, if you teach a man to fish, you'll feed them for a lifetime because they can get his own fish then. Pretty much everybody knew that was right. You knew that. You knew give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. Of course, that's correct. Let's move on to question number 8, worth 1 bonus SB if you get it right. Which nerve sends out sensory fibers from your brainstem to your visceral organs? Is it your oculomotor, your trochlear, or your vagus nerve? Sensory fibers from your brainstem to your visceral organs. Without it, you'd lose the involuntary regulation of your heart rate, your digestive system, and your immune system, among others. Very specific consequences if you were to remove the vagus nerve. Vagus is the answer. Of course, it was specific. Vegas, baby. Vegas, 62% of you getting that one right. That means we lost almost a little over more than a third of you. I guess got eliminated on that one. We'll see how many of you are able to rejoin. All right. Okay. We got almost half of you back in. We still have over 8,000 people in grand prize contention with only 2 questions left to go. The next one, worth 1 bonus SB if you get it right, is question number 9. In baseball, where does the pitcher throw pitches from? A mound, the outfield, or second base? This is when they're throwing pitches, because, you know, they could go cover somebody in the field, but when they're throwing pitches to the batter. Thanks in large part to the dominance of Bob Gibson and Denny McLain in the 1968 World Series, Major League Baseball lowered the pitcher's mound by 5 inches in an attempt to level the playing field. It always shifts pitchers to hitters to pitchers to hitters, swings like a pendulum through time. Mound, of course, is the answer. 8,023 of you knew that answer, and you are ready for our final question. But first, we got a little bit of housekeeping to do. Did you know that there are 2 ways that you can earn SB from Swagbucks Daily Trivia, this whole app, outside of these live games? One is through the Daily Trivia Challenge, our second game mode. It's quick, it's hostless, and you can play it on your schedule up to twice per day, every single day. Second, of course, is by clicking the More Ways to Earn button, wherever you find it in the app, and that is the secret goldmine of Swagbucks Daily Trivia. Not only can you earn SB by downloading, installing, and playing other games on your phone, good time. We already know that you enjoy playing games on your phone. Who are we kidding here? But of course, that's also where your daily tap joy is. Why do I call it daily tap joy? I'll tell you why. It's because it's something you should be doing every single day. Look at what's on your screen. Get SB rewards in minutes with fast, easy offers. You'll check Daily Discover off of your to-do list in minutes. You'll have fun while doing it. I've used it myself. I can verify it works, so check it out. Please give it a try for the first time. Click the smaller version of this image that appears at the end of the game. Try it for the first time or the first time in a while. Either way, give it a try. All right, we have 8,048 people vying for a piece of our $1,000 grand prize. Over 14,600 of you have stuck around to the end. And there's one more bonus SB up for grabs if you can correctly answer our final question. Here is question number 10. Which of the following word games is not associated with the New York Times? Is it crossword, Scrabble, or Wordle? One of those is not a New York Times word game. It is a popular word game. I try to do all the New York Times games daily as a sort of a mental workout before I'm up and at 'em. Both the crossword and Wordle will prepare you for playing Scrabble, which unfortunately is not part of the Times games. That's right, Scrabble is the answer. 6,997 of you knew that answer, and you are splitting our grand prize today. Well done to you. Let's meet a few of these grand prize winners, shall we? Each of you taking home 15 SB in grand prize money, plus the bonuses you earned along the way. Jess Ann Jones, you are a winner. Maria Jennifer 121, congratulations. Josie Annette M, Julianne Lester, Amy Sebastinelli, LP Nightfowl, Lil Miss Me Oh My, and Becky Spence 82411. Just said a bunch of ladies night, I guess, in the winner circle. Congratulations to every single one of our grand prize winners and those of you who claimed your bonus SB. You know what to do with all these SB now that you have them in your account, of course, right? Right. Yeah, redeem them for PayPal